In annexed Crimea, North Korean self-propelled artillery units were spotted for the first time during transportation to the Russian-Ukrainian front. Earlier, the Ukrainian Armed Forces had already destroyed 5 such guns. According to the latest intelligence data, Russia has received hundreds of such guns from North Korea. Krym.Realii investigated what is known about these deliveries and what the combat capabilities of this type of weapon are. Russia is transferring North Korean military equipment to the front through annexed Crimea, writes the Crimean Wind Telegram channel. A military train with self-propelled artillery units, Koksan, made in North Korea, was spotted at a railway station in the north of the peninsula. 7 to 8 self-propelled guns, as well as military trucks, were being transported on railway platforms. Krymsky Veter notes and publishes a photo of the self-propelled gun Koksan. In mid-November 2024, Russian pro-war Telegram channels published a photo of a North Korean artillery system in Russia. The photo shows a 170mm self-propelled artillery unit mounted on a railway platform, which is non-standard for the Russian army. The system is known as the M1979 Koksan, made in North Korea. The date and location of the photo are unknown. There have been no previous reports of North Korean artillery supplies to Russia. A few days later, the Financial Times, citing a Ukrainian intelligence report, wrote that North Korea could have supplied Russia with up to 50 M1978 Koksan self-propelled guns and 20 M1991 MLRS. In January, Bucha, head of the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, told the war zone that North Korea had supplied Russia with about 120 M1989 Koksan, 170mm self-propelled artillery guns and 120 M1991 240mm multiple launch rocket systems over the past 3 months, and would likely supply at least as many more in the future. They have a lot of these systems, Bucha said. Bucha noted that most of these weapons are either used against Ukrainian troops in Ukraine or for exercises in Russia. The 170mm guns have powerful ammunition and good capabilities, the head of the HUR noted. According to Bucha, the new North Korean troops will strengthen Russia's long-range firepower both in Kursk and in Ukraine. Ukrainian defenders managed to destroy a North Korean-made Koksan self-propelled artillery unit for the first time on February the 18th. On March the 18th, aerial reconnaissance aircraft of the 14th Separate Unmanned Aviation Regiment, together with Ukrainian artillerymen, discovered and destroyed 3 M1978 Koksan self-propelled artillery units in the Kursk region. Ukrainian Armed Forces reports mention 2 modifications of the Koksan self-propelled guns, M1978 and M1989. They differ significantly in appearance and combat characteristics. The Koksan self-propelled gun was developed in the DPRK in the 1970s. To fire large caliber shells across the demilitarized zone into South Korea, while remaining out of range of South Korean artillery. Despite the growing role of drones on the battlefield, traditional artillery still remains extremely important, and now Ukraine has become a world leader in the production of not only drones but also self-propelled guns, writes Forbes. In one of his recent interviews, Igor Felirko, executive director of the Ukrainian Defense Industrial Council, said that Ukraine has the capacity for domestic production of 40 Bogdan self-propelled howitzers per month. This is an impressive figure if we take into account the production capacities of other countries. Russia, with its large military budget, also produces 40 howitzers per month. France produces 8 Caesar guns per month. Germany can only produce 5 to 6 of its Panzerhaubitz 2000 howitzers per year. the British-American BAE Systems produces 4 howitzers per month. It is believed that 2/3 of Russian combat losses are now attributed to Ukrainian drone strikes, but this may be due to a shortage of artillery and ammunition in the defense forces. Forbes notes, the ability to use large amounts of artillery is a critical factor on the modern battlefield. Both Russia and Ukraine have perfected the integration of artillery and drones to achieve maximum effectiveness, the publication says. The author notes that artillery has several advantages over strike drones. Artillery shells are cheaper than most drones, but more powerful and not vulnerable to radio interference. Although drones can carry out pinpoint strikes on important objects and equipment, it is artillery fire that is decisive in the fight against enemy infantry. Combined with advances in other areas of defense, Ukraine's growing arsenal of howitzers increases its ability to withstand and adapt to a high uncertain battlefield, Forbes writes. As media wrote, the trailer version of the Bogdan cannon began to enter service with the troops. In particular, the 47th Separate Artillery Brigade received the Bogdana B. The cannon retained its original long barrel of 52 calibers. Most likely its weight exceeds 10 tons, which is why a Deu Novus all-terrain truck is used for transportation. We also reported that Ukraine has created a new naval drone that destroys targets not only on the water but also in the air and on the ground. To do this, the drone is equipped with torpedoes, a minigun, a machine gun, and a manpads. It can also cover a distance of more than 1,000 kilometers.